What's up, my guys, and welcome back. I'm your host, Cody, and this is the Wrestling Report Card. Got me out here hurting my knee, man. I told y'all I'm getting old. I be flipping around like I'm Jeff Hardy or something. Anyways, welcome to the show. What we do here is I take a wrestling show, I break down each match, I give it a letter grade. At the end, I tally them some bitches up to give that show its own report card. So today, we're talking the March 3rd edition of Friday Night SmackDown. And I tell you what, do we got a show in hand or what, my guy? Not only do we got Cody Rhodes facing off against Roman Reigns for the first time since he won the Royal Rumble, but in the main event, we stick with the bloodline and Santos Escobar is one-on-one with Sami, Zayn, and what in the hell is going on with Jey Uso? I don't know. We get a Bobby Lashley, Uncle Howdy confrontation, and we got some dope women's matches in line, as you got Tegan taking on Shayna Bazsler, and Rhea Ripley taking on Liv Morgan. So as y'all can tell, we got a lot to talk about. Without further ado, buckle up your seatbelts, and let's get to grading. So to start this episode of SmackDown, there's no video package or anything like that. No, boom, Roman Reigns music hit. He comes down to the ring with the Wise Men, Jimmy, and Solo, and they actually get to the ring in under 27 minutes, so we getting straight to it, my guy. Cody Rhodes followed immediately after. He got in the ring. He said, "Hey, Roman, I just want to have a man-to-man with you ahead of our WrestleMania match, but if you feel more comfortable with your boys in the ring, just say that then." So Roman responds with, "You want to get comfortable? Fine." He booted them out of the ring. He laid the straps down in between them and said, "So what you want to talk about?" I ain't gonna lie, that got me right there. So Cody answered with yet another brilliant Cody Rhodes promo, just like he did with Paul Heyman. However, this time, that sumbitch actually referenced AEW low-key, which I bet made Vince McMahon shit his pants. I tell you what, that was wild, my guy. But then, Roman went on to put him in his place, just like he does with everybody else, before bringing up his daddy, Dusty Rhodes. And during the middle of all this, Roman Reigns maybe pulled out the best dream impression of all time. He said, "Baby, okay, I can't do it as good as he did. That's why I make shitty YouTube videos. Be nice, okay?" But Roman, where the hell has that been, my guy? He went on to say, "Cody, you know what your dad used to say about you in front of me? Nothing." Jeez. But Roman then leveled with him and said, "Cody, you ain't the only one who misses the American dream. I miss him too. But if there's anything that he didn't teach you, I can." As Roman went to extend his hand out. I mean, Roman is a dog. Cody then answered with his typical, "It's not a dream, it's not a want, insert 2 syllables, it's a necessity." But he ended it all by shaking Roman's hand and saying, "Roman, champ, sir, may the better man win." Hey, I'm clowning, but that's getting an A+. That was a phenomenal promo battle, and I still can't believe that Cody Rhodes said, "I didn't think 10,000 people watched me and my friend's little indie show, AEW, on Friday Night SmackDown." I'm telling you, somebody need to go check Vince McMahon Depends diapers. Well, we got to keep it moving on, because up next we get into some women's action as we got Rhea Ripley taking on Liv Morgan. With that sack of shit ex-con Dom ringside, the first 2 entrants from the Women's Rumble and former tag team partners hit the ring, the bell rung, and by God, we got us a slobber knocker on our hands, I tell you what. With Rhea possibly looking ahead to her match against Charlotte Flair at Mania, Liv Morgan was just flying around going crazy, but we all knew it was only so long before mommy was gonna mommy. Rhea caught Liv midair, powerbombed her, immediately followed with the riptide, and then that sumbitch tried breaking Liv in half with that inverted cloverleaf submission, and Liv Morgan had no choice but to tap out, my guy. I thought that was a solid match. I'm gonna slap a B on that sumbitch. I saw a lot of people were mad that they were like, Liv Morgan's getting squashed now, but let's be real. We all know Rhea Ripley ain't losing cleanly on the road to WrestleMania, so that is what it is. Well, let's keep it up with mommy, because after the match, Santos Escobar confronted ex-con Dom backstage for disrespecting Rey Mysterio over and over again and called that sumbitch out to a match one-on-one, mano-y-mano, no mommy. Speaking of mommy, Santos then reached over and blew a kiss at her, and he better watch out, because Buddy Matthews is connected to some very dangerous people, and they like to cut the lights out. Well, back to this. Of course, ex-con Dom didn't listen. He brought mommy out with him, and we get this sumbitch started. Then, during the break, Rhea Ripley made herself known ringside, which allowed Dominic to get the upper hand. And does this guy draw heat or what? And I can't lie, this was good. Escobar brought down Rey Mysterio's mask ringside, and Dom stayed disrespecting his pops throughout the entire match. And I tell you what, this had me and the entire DC crowd intrigued the whole time. I mean, when your team is the Washington Wizards, I guess you're happy when anything exciting happens in that arena. Oh, anyways, that Punk ex-Condom did pull out the brass knucks, but that was just a decoy. When it distracted the ref, that allowed Rhea Ripley to sneak over, hit her second riptide of the night, and by the time this dumb ref knew what was going down, Dom was up now disrespecting Eddie Guerrero on the top rope. He hit the frog splash, got the 1-2-3, then after the match, that little rat-faced bastard started ripping Rey Mysterio's mask, but at this time, booyaka booyaka, out came the legend, but, I mean, he just let Dom continue to disrespect him, and then Dom ended up even slapping his own dad. Like, I cannot wait until Rey Mysterio snaps and just beats that, boys. I'm not gonna go there, but for that match, I'm gonna give it a B+. Like, I was very, very intrigued, and let's just be honest, Dom Mysterio has to be the most improved wrestler of the year, my guy. Like, remember how stellar his run was going into WrestleMania last year? And that was the build-up of him and Rey becoming the first ever father-son duo tag team champions of all time. I'm just saying, I'm giving the guy his credit. Well, up next, I don't know what the hell happened, but I'll tell you one thing. I loved it, brother. We got Drew McIntyre in the ring by himself. 4 weeks into WrestleMania, he is pissed that he doesn't have a match. So he comes down to the ring and says, Gunther, I want a piece of your ass, brother. And for a split second, this weed had me thinking that Gunther changed his theme. But nope, it was Sheamus music that hit. He come down and says, what the bloody hell? You did this behind my back? I thought you were my brother, but nope, you're just a backstabbing bastard. So Drew says, hey, since we're being honest, you lost, mate, twice. Then at this time, LA Knight makes his way down, yeah, and he's followed out by the New Day, as well as Karrion Kross. And folks, we got ourselves a situation. As everybody was distracted by Kross, LA Knight then shoved Cody, which just started an all-out war in the ring. But at the end of it all, Karrion Kross, a clean-shaven Karrion Kross, might I add, I see you, my guy, stood tall, just like The Rock in that movie, Standing Tall. Hey, I thought that was a good segment. I'm gonna give it a B+. It was pure chaos. It was pure anarchy, and I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 men in the ring, plus the champion. That makes 8. And I don't know, are we getting an 8-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania? If so, we are eating, my guy. Well, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Next up, we go back in the women's division as we got Tegan Knox taking on my girl, my dog, Shayna Bazsler. Funny thing, neither one of these ladies actually ran out to their own music. Like, did Tony Khan book this? Ah, come on, it was just a joke. You know that made you laugh. Just a little bit, right? Anyways, hey, one thing I don't get is all around Rousey hate. Okay, when she's the champ, I get it a little bit. I see why some people don't like that. But when she's not the champ, like, what's the point? What's the deal right here? Like, all she's doing in this role is putting over Shayna Bazsler, and I am here for that, my guy. And Shayna Bazsler continues on this role as she gets the armbar in quick fashion, and Tegan Knox had no choice but to tap out, my guy. And for the letter grade on this, I'm gonna give it a B-. Like, this was a great squash match. It did what we needed to do. And again, for this women's tag team division that desperately needs some life pumped into it, I hope at Mania it's Ronda Rousey, Shayna Bazsler going up against Becky Lynch and Lita. Well, then next up, everybody got surprised as Bobby Lashley's music hit, and he's here on SmackDown. And it ain't for playing little kid games, I can tell you that, brother. Bobby Lashley said, hey, I'm here to do 2 things. That's to whoop Bray Wyatt's ass and chew some bubble gum. And guess what? I'm all out of bubble gum, brother. So Bobby came down. He called out Bray Wyatt, but it was Uncle Howdy's music that hit. He actually tried to sneak on Bob Lashley, but as it does for many others, that backfired. Lashley slammed his ass, but before he could hit the spear, the lights went out, and boom, when they come back on, Uncle Howdy was nowhere to be found. I'm gonna give that a C+. Like, yeah, it wasn't much, and I'll be honest, that was a rare L for Uncle Howdy. But did you hear that pop for Bobby Lashley, my guy? And I may be a little biased on this grade because both these guys are in my top 5 currently. Well, then we go backstage to the Tribal Chief, who's starting to blame Jimmy now for Jay's absence. So Jimmy came back and told Roman that Jay actually said to leave him the hell alone, and I quote. So Roman sent Jimmy to be ringside with Solo for his main event match. He then said none of this happened until Sami came around, and then he ended this by turning to the wise man saying, if Jay isn't back in the bloodline next week, I'm not blaming Sami, I'm not blaming nobody, I'm blaming Jimmy Uso. I mean, shit. If Roman blames Jimmy, then I'm blaming Jimmy. I'm not going against him. That's my guy right there. Well, that's enough of the talk, because it's time for the main event. We got Sami Zayn taking on Solo Sikoa, the undefeated Solo Sikoa. But I tell you what, we had a game Sami Zayn tonight, and he was taking it to his ass early on. However, he let himself get distracted by Jimmy, who was ringside, and you just can't afford to do that with a guy like Solo. Solo struck with the Samoa drop, then he hit the Rikishi. Sami answered with a tornado DDT as well as back-to-back crossbodies. Solo kicked out, then boom, Sami hit the Blue Thunder powerbomb, but once again Solo kicked out, so Sami loaded up for the haluva kick. However, Jimmy came in just in time to save the day for Solo, and this allowed him to get out of the way, hit that Umaga spike, and ain't nobody kicking out of that, my guy. So Solo picked up the 1-2-3, then immediately after the match, he and Jimmy just started laying the smackdown on Sami before they strapped a steel chair around his neck. But as Jimmy was too busy flapping his gums, Sami got up, threw that chair at Solo before laying Jimmy out with the haluva kick. And Jimmy, I don't think Roman was looking too happy about that backstage, my guy. And if Jay doesn't show up for the Bloodline next week, you gonna be sliding on thin ice, pal. And you know when you hear a slightly overweight, nerdy white guy say you're sliding on thin ice, you know that shit just got real, okay? Well, that was awesome right there for that main event. I'm gonna give it a B+. I like that we're keeping Sami kind of in the middle of this whole storyline leading up to WrestleMania with Triple H and creative. Who the hell knows what's gonna happen? And that's why I like professional wrestling, my guy. Well, y'all know what time of the show it is. We already got the grades in. Now let's take a look at the report card. After tallying everything up, we came out with a final letter grade of a B+, that's right, an 87%. And I see what you did there, Triple H, with AEW Revolution being this Sunday. He said Friday, let's get Roman and Cody to have their first payoff. And then on Monday, let's bring in, I don't know, John Cena and Logan Paul. Yeah, Tony Khan, you better bring that heat. MJF, well, he always bring the heat too, so he gonna be straight there. Well, I want to appreciate all y'all tuning in again. Shout out to OG Bobby Knifehawk for the music. Shout out to my awesome girlfriend for this shirt right here. I'm Cody. I gotta work in the morning, so I'm signing off. You folks stay safe and have a nice day.